Greetings, groovy people. Welcome to Blue Dragon Art. I'm the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon. It's December. It's getting towards the end of the year. And what I had been doing for like the past few years is trying to help support independent artists by creating fan art of their original characters and kind of showcasing it here on the channel and then gifting it to them because, you know, I'm someone who I always love to get fan art. However, 2023, as you can tell by my upload schedule, has been quite a bitch. I didn't think it could get worse from last year, but, you know, as hard as last year was, and I'm not going to, you know, go into details about that, or even this year, I'm not ready to talk about this year, but as hard as all that was, you know, I still want to do something. I have like one Secret Santa thing that I'm doing this year. The other one got canceled, which is fine, to be quite honest. I've been, you know, having trouble kind of keeping motivated, not with my comic, like I've been working on that and been having fun, and I'll have more videos talking about Dark Horse, which is my free webcomic. The links for that are in the description, and it is not safe for work. But I haven't really had a lot of time or motivation. It's just been kind of a frustrating year. The latter half of the year, I should specify. The earlier part of the year was, for the most part, pretty good. It was okay. After our wedding, everything just kind of started going downhill, so next year will be better. You know, it's been a long December.
Maybe this year will be better than the last.
Now, having said all that, I'm just being really candid in this. I know that my videos and the way I talk, I know that I'm boring, I know that I'm not like for everyone. I do want to thank like the new subscribers and stuff, and I hope this doesn't come off as like super boring. It's kind of a long introduction of just my hands moving back and forth, but I wanted to have that introduction to explain that this year I won't be sharing fan art at the end of the year like I normally do. I want to talk about like some of the independent art projects that I supported this year instead. And if you see something that you like, you know, a lot of these things are free online, not all of it, but a lot of them are free online, and I will try to put down in the description links for where you can find those comics and comicers or YouTube channels, as the case may be, for like one of these that I supported. So without further ado, this is in no particular order. I've done videos on some of these, but anytime there's a Kickstarter for Flipside, this is one of the webcomics that got me actually thinking that I could do this, that I could make a webcomic. I used to be on the forum boards a little bit, not a lot. I'm kind of, like, aside from Comic Fury, and even then on Comic Fury, I don't really comment a lot online. I don't, you know, I'm not usually too particularly active. But I did used to be on their forum before they switched over to Discord. I'm like on the Discord, but I don't ever talk. I just like to see the announcements and see when things are coming up. And Flipside had another Kickstarter, and so for years I've been supporting this. I've been trying to get all of the hard copies because I don't read it online anymore. I don't know if I'm just like, I've never liked reading things online aside from webcomics, but even so, I prefer having like a hard copy to read. And so I went ahead and supported this Kickstarter. I got not just the regular tier, but I got an add-on because I'm trying to get the hard copies. And what's so super cool about getting the hard copies is that Brian Foulke, who is the artist and writer for this, he's from Chi-Town, or the Chi-Town area. But anyway, I digress. A lot of times he'll put like sketches, like pencil sketches. I anymore will tell him to just do whatever he wants because I like a lot of the characters and I like to give the artist that freedom. But yeah, so this is one of the things, and I really like this because, well, it started out a little fan servicey. For me, and I'm not going to talk too much about this either because I don't feel it's necessary for me to discuss stuff publicly, but this was like, for me, an interesting relationship dynamic. The two primary characters are part of the LGBTQ community, plus Q community, One is a lesbian, the other is pansexual, and for me it was kind of refreshing to, while yeah, some of it was a little pandery and stuff, over the years the depiction of their relationship has definitely grown and matured, and for me it was just a very enjoyable story. Plus it's done in the manga / anime style, whatever you want to call it. Very heavily influenced by Eastern comic arts is what I'm saying. And I like the story. There's magic. It reminds me a little bit of D&D. I know that the author does D&D, or has in the past. I don't know. I don't keep tabs on the dude. I mean, it's not my business. I don't care. I'm not one of those types of people. I'm not like thrilled with celebrity. But at any rate, I really like the storytelling. I like the concepts. There's some interesting commentary, especially in this. And I've just reread all of the first 7 comics. This year. I just sat down and took some time to read. So Flipside, this is an independent artist that I love to support. I like to read his comic. I did an entire whole ass video unboxing this, so I'm not going to go into detail, but oi. I like the artwork. Again, I like the influences of a lot of things that I am actually interested in, including like Celtic mythology, theology. I don't know if anyone's like still worshiping these gods or not, so whichever applies. That kind of thing interests me. It's funny. The art style changes all the time. I love that the character models, like you can tell they're the same character, but shit changes all the time, and I love it. And it's very psychedelic. It's an intersection of music, mythology, artwork that I like, allusions to different manga and anime that I'm interested in, folk music that I like. It's just a really interesting comic, and so I supported this year, and that's all I'm gonna say because we gotta move along. I don't want this to be like super long. I don't know when my subscription to Feral Publications, Feral Comics, is going to be up. I need to re-up it. I haven't gotten an email yet. I asked the dude about it, but I like to support indie underground art. Oh god, let's cover that up. This kind of satisfies my weird ass. I kind of like stuff like Frank Zappa, but I like him as an artist. I like a lot of work that he did against like the whole Tipper Gore censorship garbage. I mean, when you got John Denver squeezing the trial in between NASA because you're trying to make the government be the one regulating what we consume. I don't like censorship regardless of whose side is doing it, whether it's left or right. And more often than not, it's the right side of our politics doing that. But even when it's the left, I don't agree with it. So this brings it back to like what zines were originally. It was like giving voice to the underdog, giving voice to underrepresented communities. I like to see like different people's perspectives, because like his experience totally different than mine. So I watch his channel and I subscribe to Feral Comics, and while this seems a little bit out of what my actual interests are when it comes to like art and stuff, I actually kind of have like an eclectic taste in art, and I love to see shit like this. I like to see his process, and I like to read these comics. So Feral Publications is an independent press that I'm subscribed to, and I need to see if I need to re-up it, but I've still been getting these comics, so I need to check up on that. Speaking of zines, when I was at the Portland Zine Symposium this October, I did both some art trades, some comic trades, some zine trades. Oh my gosh, you guys. I made out like a bandit. Like, this dude gave me like 2 comic books. This person stopped by my booth, and I traded, and they gave me 2 of theirs. And I bought this one, thought it would be interesting, and it was. This one, this one is extremely explicit. This is definitely in the LGBT underground scene. I'm not going to show much of this, but like, again, like, this is kind of like bringing it back to what zines kind of used to represent in like the late 60s, early 70s, throughout the 80s and stuff. I fucking love this. Approved by the Comics Code Authority. This is so explicit, y'all. It's interesting. Even though I am not a homosexual man, I enjoyed looking at this and reading this. Yeah, like I said, I like to just see different people's perspectives and artworks and the way they express themselves. So this was something that I bought. I gotta do this part before my partner gets home, but I got this Klaus Nomi thing because his music, you know, both David Bowie and Klaus Nomi and like a bunch of other musicians. It's funny, my husband, my partner, he is into Klaus Nomi's like music, not like all the time, just, you know, maybe more as like a novelty. But I saw this comic and I was like, yes, I gotta wrap this. This is one of his Christmas presents. But yeah, I bought this one from the artist, so let's put that aside. I'm gonna go to this one that I bought before I go on to these. This one, I liked how she had it displayed, and so I got it. I wish I bought more of her stuff because I really like her art style. This one is regarding Black Lives Matters and protesting and like kind of going into the reason why this specific character, which is probably reflective of some people's experiences, a lot of people's experiences. So I think it's kind of important to listen to other people's experience. That makes sense. I know that I'm getting a little preachy, and I kind of don't give a shit. I'm just being real candid in this video. I think that it's important for us to listen to one another and kind of, and then draw my own conclusions, which is that people are people and everyone's voice, you know, should be heard out. Okay, so this artist, oh my gosh, I've already read these two. I love this art. I can learn a lot from this art. There's minimal dialogue. So a lot of these are like local artists, or they're like in the Pacific Northwest if they're not from Portland proper. I think this dude is from Portland. But just great use of pen and ink techniques. Gosh, I like the way the panels are set up. I really like this Hank the Artist one for obvious reasons. I really like this art. This is The Hidden Sea and Other Stories. A little surreal. I don't know if it's intentionally nonsensical, but I like it. I like it, if that makes sense. I really like it. And I think there's a lot that I can learn from, like, the composition of the panels, the storytelling. Again, very minimal text, but extremely detailed artwork. I really like this. Really cool. This was an art trade. He's a really cool guy. I haven't read Gravitational Pull yet, but I definitely looked through this zine. They came over to my booth, we did a trade, they let me take whichever ones I wanted, and so these are the two that I wanted. Let's move this out of the way so that you can kind of see it. This is Max Mallory. I haven't been like reading everyone's name off. I'll put it down in the description. But again, kind of minimal on like the text bubbles, which is fine. I like that. I really like how the community, like the art community, like people share so much. That is very much in line with like kind of my ideals. I like to share my art. That's why my stuff is free. I'm not going to monetize this channel. If there's ads on this video, which I can't imagine there are because I don't, you know, get a lot of views, which is fine. But they're not supporting me. They're not supporting anyone but corporate companies. So you know, don't click on those on my behalf. And if you have an ad blocker, that's fine with me. But yeah, I want to read this comic. I don't know if this is like in a series. I feel like yeah, issue 1. Okay, so this is in a series. Very cool use of color, lots of details. Looks like it's on an alien planet. This one I have not read yet. I've been doing a lot of reading this year, a lot of comic reading, like hard copy stuff. So this was enjoyable. This one I bought earlier in the year. I know I got these at Cosmic Monkey #1. They're a Portland comic book store. I don't remember if I got these this year or last year. This is from 2022, but I might have gotten it this year. I can't remember. It's been a long year. So let's start with, this is so cool. Love the artwork in this one. It's so interesting. But let's start with this. This I've shown this off before when I was talking about making a single page zine. But you know what? Let's not tear it apart. It's one-page horror comic. I think it's awesome. It doesn't have any author. It has no one accredited to this. So I can't link it. I have no idea who this belonged to, who made this artwork. But it's so cool. It's so simple. It's very I like to look at it. And then on the back, is this. Different styles. It's just so creative. I like seeing the stuff that people come up with. So this was like $1 or some shit. I don't feel like I really supported the artist that much. And I can't even give them credit because they didn't put their name in there. This is making comic zines. This was super handy. Even though I've been making comics and stuff for like a while, there's so much you can learn still. And I love how simplified you know, a lot of the instructions are. It makes it very digestible, easy to follow, you know, the instructions. So if you're a beginner or if you're intermediate, like I would say I'm intermediate, this is from Silver Sprocket Publications. I'm going to talk about this, but I was not accepted. I think I'd mentioned that I had applied to them. I wasn't accepted, but I'd still highly recommend checking out their indie zines and comics and stuff. The artists over there are fucking fantastic. I'm going to do a video talking about like acceptance and failure and kind of, you know, going into like how I personally tackle like putting myself out there and dealing with rejection, but also like, you know, having fun, like putting myself out there, and the rewards of getting accepted into things. So I'm gonna do that maybe yes, definitely next year, but I just thought I would kind of, because I think I mentioned it in one of my videos, and for those of you who have been around and you do watch all the videos, I just kind of wanted to like follow up with that real quick, and let you know what was going on with that. But yeah, a lot of good information in this. You can buy this online. I got a you know, hard copy at a store, but you can buy this online too. This was really fun to read. This was discounted, I think. I pulled the thing off, but this was in the discount bin at Cosmic Monkey. I think it's on Hazley Street in Portland. It's kind of a bus ride. It's not like super far away. It's on the east side, but like on the east side of like the Willamette. But yeah, this was a really interesting, dealing with like, some of it has to do with like depression, finding yourself, like the color. Interesting commentary. There was a lot going on in this. I liked it. It was really cool. So, yeah, that's something I got. Oh, what else did I support? This was an Indiegogo for a comic that I read. It's on hiatus right now because I think the artist, not the writer, the artist is attending college and taking classes, and kind of keeping up with everything was a little difficult for them. So they let us know that they're on hiatus. But it's a different take on heaven and hell and angels, and I've been interested in stuff like that. I read, yeah, I know, everyone's going to shit on it, but I read a good part of Angel Sanctuary, which is a manga. I think is that by Kaori Yuki? I can't remember who the artist was. I think Kaori Yuki might have done the Kane Saga, which I love the shit out of. Kane Saga and Godchild. I think Godchild and the Kane Saga was way better than fucking Black Butler. Fight me over it. Fight me over it. If you liked Black Butler and you never read the Kane Saga, which is like older, it has like a completely different art style than the Gothic style that's in Godchild. But if you haven't read those, you might like it. If you liked Black Butler, it had a way, in my opinion, less uncomfortable ending than Black Butler. I did not. I watched that show. I watched it and I wanted to stop. I was not enjoying it. It made me so irritated. Read Godchild. Read Godchild. Anyway, I digress. I'm talking about like not commercial stuff. But yeah, this is an interesting comic. You can read it on Tapas. I'll put a link for this down in the description. Black Wings. It's not for everyone. I mean, it's not for everyone. And then the last thing I have, I supported an Indiegogo for a channel that I absolutely adore. It's Comic Tropes. This is the cover that Chris, the host to Comic Tropes, illustrated. I wish I could have done a higher tier than I did, but, you know, I'm not rich. We have a budget for, like we literally have a budget that my husband and I set aside for what indie projects I can support. And I would have liked to have done like a higher tier, but I also want to spread the love. So I didn't get the one that I had my eyeballs on, but I still got this cover drawn by Chris from Comic Tropes. I love comic tropes. So I'm not someone who likes a lot of melodrama. I hate melodrama. If I'm watching an art channel, it's because I want to learn about comics that I will never read, because I don't like superhero comics very well. I will read some of them, but I don't read a lot of them. But I want to kind of keep in the loop and be able to have a conversation with people when things come up. So I like to watch Comic Tropes. He also delves into stuff that I enjoy. I think he had a really good video on Asamu, who is like the godfather of manga and anime. And so I like to watch his channel because it's very, there's a little bit of comedy in there, but there's not a lot of commentary. It's just kind of talking and telling me and allowing me to draw my own conclusions, because I'm a grown-ass adult and I don't need somebody else telling me what to think. But anyway, I supported it when he had this Kickstarter thing going on, or not Kickstarter, this Indiegogo going on. I went in there and I supported it. And I like Vampirella anyway. Oh my god, Elvira! Oh my god, I just watched the Elvira movie this year. It's been years. Yeah, this is really, really cool. So cool. Oh, apparently there were, so here's this is an exclusive cover, so yeah. Chris Pierce, that's his last name. I just know that he introduces himself as Chris. I didn't really pay attention to his last name, but yeah. So, I'm sure I bought other stuff, but that's what I was able to find and remember that I supported in the year 2023. If you saw something that piqued your interest, you should check out the links down in the description. I'm going to try to make sure that I link everyone that I can, aside from, this one. Again, I have no idea who did this, and I don't know if I even went to the comic shop and asked them. I don't know if they're privy to give that information. So, if you did that, you're not watching this channel. If you did this, get yourself some credit. But yeah, I had a really good year on supporting independent projects. I try to do that if I don't have time to do fan art, which I didn't this year. I had one piece of fan art that I did for the Comic Fury zine as a fan art prize, but I did an entire video talking about Saluda, which is amazing, by the way. I love that comic. I love it. I love it. I love it. But at any rate, I didn't really do a lot other, because it's been kind of a hard year. There's been a lot of loss this year, from different facets of my life. It's just been a really hard year, but there's also been a lot of good things this year. There's good and there's the good and the bad. You take the good, you take the bad, you take what you get, But yeah, I wanted to end out this year showing my support for indie artists who work very hard, who put themselves out there in spite of the fear and worry of being rejected. They're willing to make themselves vulnerable in order to share their craft, their stories, their art with other people. And as an artist, as someone who's not a great artist, who's not a great storyteller, who's trying to improve, I appreciate having peers that I can look up to and appreciate, what I can learn from them, and I hope that they learn something from me. And if you're just, if you aren't an artist, if you are just a purveyor of comics and art, I want to thank you for supporting people who do this, who for supporting artists, independent artists. Thank you, because you make a difference too. We need an audience. We have, we have something to say, and it's always appreciated when others who maybe aren't, a part of the craft, still appreciate and support it. So thank you. And I think I've rambled enough in this video. Okay. All right. I'm out of here. Peace and love. Fare you well, and keep on trucking. Greetings. Ooh. The white level. Oh. Greetings, groovy people. Welcome to Blue Dragon Art.